We've all been waiting for it to happen. Just didn't know how it was going to rear its ugly head.
What?
The New World Order.
Population reduction.
Is that what you and Lily were filming?
Yeah. We were filming in case anything happens to us.
Tell me.
There's no going back from this, dear. Everything will change for you once you know.
Tell me.
I believe we are enslaved in a society where we will not be free to think or feel or do anything other than consume. Slaves for work to buy things beyond our means, living in fear of terrorism. I believe this is to blindside us, trick us into a situation where they, the powers that be, will wipe us out. Kill most of us. Kill all of us here. They are going to reduce the population. That is what I believe.
It's sad to think that there may need to be a population limit on the Earth. Maybe there does. We can't keep on doing what we're doing.
There will be a global population reduction until there are only 500 million people there. Although I believe that this planet can support 2 billion humans perfectly.
How do you know that?
It's a question of space and the resources that space has, and using those resources to survive and not exploiting them.
Almost 7 billion humans use too many resources. This leads to a very uncertain future for us all.
Right, climate change.
Climate change occurs naturally. That's why we have the Ice Age.
So now you're telling me that climate change is fake?
As you know it.
Why do you recycle? Why do you recycle?
I'm doing my bit.
So you're trying to save the planet?
Yeah.
How precious of you to think that you could save the planet. If she needed saving, especially from us, she'd just wipe us out. Hypothetically, if we want to conserve 80% of the planet's resources, then we should get rid of, or cull, that 20% of the population who are consuming them, yeah?
Hypothetically, I guess that would be a solution.
Yeah, the final solution.
We use so much of the planet's resources, but there's just no balance. Soon we would have depleted the resources so much that life can't be sustained. And then everything will die.
How would they reduce the population? We're not stupid.
Hitler said, the bigger the lie, the more the people will believe it.
I think it would be done Hitler style. The armed forces are going to kill us. They'll follow orders. It's what they've been trained to do. They're being taught to be racists. The army are already killing people in other countries. People in power are using fear to fuel the racism. How long before they use this racism to make soldiers turn on their own? Innocent people living in a police state.
It's already begun. Controlling and monitoring the movement of individuals within the society. Putting chips in passports, ID cards, CCTV.
They're using this orchestrated ruse to convince the public to accept Big Brother-type controls. And then they will intentionally reduce the mass of the world's population. Mass genocide on a scale never seen before. There are a mass of ways they could introduce population slaughter. More staged events, orchestrated and maneuvered conflicts, and the use of bioengineered diseases. Vaccines. They could come in vaccines. Women are being encouraged to get sterilized. What if they're using cervical cancer jabs? Not this generation, but the next. Prevention and cure for cancer. or having babies.
That's madness.
You're right. They'd never wait 2 generations.
In the event that I am reincarnated, I'd like to come back as a deadly virus. So as to contribute to solving overpopulation. Prince Philip said that. Bioengineered pathogens are being created to eliminate ethnic groups, such as blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, homosexuals.
Homosexuals? Surely that would keep the population down.
Yes, but it's not nature's way. Love is not a factor when you're dealing with how the few procreate.
Natural selection, where the only natural element is the powers that be.
Population control already happens in China. You have to have a license before you can have a second child.
Come on, Dion. How many times have you thought about how unfair it is that you have to work to have a good life, whereas others breed and get given benefits and homes? How often have you wondered, like many others, what real value they bring to the world?
Population reduction programs eliminate a mind-blowing 95% of the population.
Eugenics is the pseudoscience culling the excess population.
Fake science.
Got that.
Who was a clever girl?
It'll be done in a barbaric fashion using draconian methods, and this global holocaust will probably come out from under the flag of the UN.
I can almost imagine us being frog-marched away from our homes in a martial law kind of way. And no one bats an eyelid.
Almost 95% of the population.
13 out of every 14 people killed, destroyed, and murdered.
In order to stabilize world population, they need, or want, to dispose of 6.5 billion people. It's a horrible thing to say, but isn't it just as bad not to say it?
How can they, John? How can they?
Come here. Questions?
What?
You've got questions?
You shit, Sherlock. Well, it's just... Oh, for fuck's sake, Dion, structure a sentence. It's bullshit. It's got to be.
Why?
Because that would make my whole life a lie.
And what if it is?
What if it is? John, really? If my whole life is a lie, what do I do now?
You must be the change you wish to see in the world, Dion. What this means...
Ernest.
Honestly, a lot to think about, Dion. That's what you've got to do. Just take the time to think about it.
How can you believe all that stuff?
Oh. So we're going to talk about it, are we, Princess?
Yeah. Just don't get it. How can you both believe that crap? Ernest, you're like ridiculously intelligent. Why? Well, how can you believe it? Well, surely it's up there with JFK and Princess Diana. It's all conspiracy stuff.
Don't even get me
That's
started.
what I mean. You sound like crazies, you really do. And not questioning everything like you told me. I'm questioning everything I know about you. And how much I like you. And that's really
Shit.
just a bit. You're telling me that left is right and up is down and I can't buy it.
Why?
Seriously?
Play building blocks with me.
What?
Ernest?
Please, Dion. Just one game.
One game.
How did it fall?
How did it fall? Forwards.
Why?
Well, it's about balance. You take it out one side, the balance is off, it topples over, and gravity pulls it down.
Every time?
Yeah.
Are you certain?
Yeah.
Now, when we play this, we pull out blocks from all over the structure because we don't want to be responsible for it falling over. Am I correct?
Yeah.
What happens if we only pull out blocks from one side?
Same thing.
Please demonstrate. So, they fall over,
Yeah.
not down.
No. Ernest, what's your point?
With any kind of building blocks, when you pull out the blocks from the side, it falls over at that point. Well, then explain to me how, when an aeroplane was flown into one of the Twin Towers on September the 11th, that building collapsed in on itself. What about the other tower? Scientifically, mathematically, or blockily, those buildings should have fallen over, not inwards. I mean, I'll concede to the idea that by some sort of miracle, one of those towers could have collapsed in on itself. But both of them? I'm afraid I doubted that the moment I watched it happen live. It is inconceivable that those planes brought those buildings down.
But watch a controlled demolition, it looks the same.
If a picture says 1,000 words, then our eyes can see 1,000 lies. See it to believe it.
Who would... How could... Who would do that? Why would they?
Fear.
9/11, like 7/7, is pure fear. Nothing more.
September the 11th, 2001 was a ruse, a show, a charade that even a child could identify.
Bullshit. No fucking way. No way.
Dion, you need to understand.
Not from us, she doesn't. She's got to do it herself.
Pardon?
She's got to do it herself. She's got to look, research, make an educated judgment. We can't do that for her. Right?
Right.
Here's a laptop. On this bookcase, there are hundreds of books you can read. Here, and this is the address for the British Library, home of every book in the country, and the address of a smaller bookshop. They can tell you about workshops and seminars you can go to. We've shown you the door. It's up to you to open it. I'd say slowly, slowly catch a monkey, but they want to reduce the population by about 95%. Not sure you can afford to be slowly, slowly. Do you?
You don't know all the troubles I've seen, twisted faces, the places I've been. Not just in my land, but far away. It's been carried all in my head's here to stay. lost in my land but far away. It's been carried on in our heads, here to stay.
It may be worth considering other books such as 1984, Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451, and even more recently, The Celestine Prophecy.